Hey, we are re-releasing our episode on Jonah this week instead of creating something new. Last week we talked about the VeggieTales version of Jonah, so I think it's fun to kind of compare our more critical analysis of Jonah. What was that? Episode 7, episode 8,
Episode 8.
episode 8. So it's way back in months ago, back when we didn't know how to podcast. We still don't know how to podcast, but hopefully we've improved in quality since then. But yeah, Jody, what was your favorite part of that episode?
I really enjoyed listening to how the fish changes genders
Yeah.
throughout the story of Jonah because that's a transgender fish there, my boy. That's kind of interesting. What was your favorite part?
Yeah, I mean, I love I did my master's thesis on existentialism in Jonah. So I love thinking about Jonah as an existentialist text. But yeah, the different grammatical uses of the word fish definitely stands out as an interesting tidbit. I think I don't know. I think as I've thought about this more since this episode, I think reducing it to a transgender fish is, there's better ways we could do about it. Like I think there's so much in the Bible that we could talk about with gender and sexuality, that reducing the fish to transgender doesn't really do as much good as I'd like it to do, because like especially in like the European mindset, gender queering things and having a guy in woman's clothing is often laughed at, it's often a joke. So adding a transgender fish, I don't think does much to the text. This is beside the point. We can talk about gender and the Bible and other stuff like that at another point.
It was
But
a woman when Jonah was inside its belly.
yeah, well, and because is that like a womb? There's a lot going on there. We would love your guys' thought on that. But my favorite part about this is definitely the existential aspects of this. Albert Camus in Exile and Kingdom, he has a short story on, and I don't think we talked about this in the episode. He has a short story called "An Artist at Work," and the main character is Gilbert Jonas, and it quotes Jonah, but like apart from that, it doesn't really seem to be related to Jonah. But it's about this struggling artist who eventually gets a patron, and he makes art, and he becomes more and more successful, and he like gets more estranged from his family, but eventually he gets more and more and more successful until he can't handle anymore, and he goes up to his loft and he makes his final artwork, his final piece of art, and his friend eventually comes and drags him down, and the artwork just has, it's in French, so it has this word that translates to either solitary or solitude, not solitary or solitude, what is it, um solidary, solidary or solitude. Like the person who's looking at it can't interpret it, like he can't quite make out what it's saying. Is it solidary, is it solitude? Other translations, is it independent or is it interdependent? So I think what Camus is commenting on in the Book of Jonah is, how does Jonah interact with him as himself, and how does he interact with people, and how does that work as an existential text? What does it mean to be independent? What does it mean to be interdependent? And how can we live with that? So as you listen to this episode, as you think about Jonah, think about the existential aspects of this. Think about how Jonah interacts with the others around him. Think about how Jonah interacts with himself. What does it mean to be interdependent? What does it mean to be independent? But yeah, take a listen to the episode, and I hope you enjoy it.